Hello everybody, hello recruits, welcome on back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Square Enix, and we're also going to be talking about reading comprehension, because that's going to be a thing that we're going to have to talk about today. And also I am here with my lovely Twitch chat, which means that if you want to be here for live discussions and live hangouts and talk with me and spend time with me, come follow me over on Twitch. There's a link in the description. Feel free to stop on by. We'd love to have you. And with that being said, let's get into the Square Enix's harassment policy. So, recently, Square Enix, keep in mind that this is Square Enix of Japan. This is translated from the Japanese manuscript, so there could be there could be some misspellings or misunderstandings here. I do not think that this is from the English site, at least to my knowledge. But this has to do with their policy about harassment. So we're going to go over it. We're going to read it. Okay, first and foremost, I'm going to read this document so that everybody, both in my chat and on the video, can understand it. For starters, Square Enix believes that the feedback, comments, and requests received from our customers are essential to the advancement of our group's products and services. Therefore, we are committed to strive to apply our voice in improving improving our products and services. At the same time, there are instances where certain customers take action directly or through our support centers or toward our group executives, employees, partners who are involved in the creation and distribution of our group products and services that constitute customer harassment. They put that in quotation, by the way. I think that's important. They want to highlight that. Such as denial of personality, violence, defamation, intimidation, advance notice of wrongdoing, advance notice of obstruction of business. In other words, they're warning that they're going to cause a problem before they even have caused a problem. Harassment. Such actions do not only prevent our employees and partners from engaging in their work with a sense of security, but also causes disruption to our customers. Square Enix will not tolerate harassment and will take actions as necessary. Okay, so that's the start of it. Let's go over the rest of it, shall we? So let's talk about the group customer harassment policy. Should Square Enix determine that an individual has engaged in an action against one of our employees or partners that exceeds socially acceptable behavior or is harmful, I think those are important, we reserve our right to cease providing support service or to refrain from providing our group's products and services. So basically what they're saying here is that if you've done something that Square Enix thinks goes against common decent behavior, they will no longer support you. Like, let's say you do it in a video game that they own, like let's say Final Fantasy XIV or whatnot, they will ban you. Not like they can't already ban you, but they're going to, this is the legalese version of, yes, we'll take action and we will ban people for doing something stupid. Products and services. But like, so that would be like, let's say it's a person who has been supported by Square Enix in the past, like a reviewer or something, and they become malicious in some form. That means that they'll cut ties with that individual. Where such action is egregious or with malicious intent, Square Enix reserves its right to protect its employees and partners and take legal action or criminal proceedings upon consulting the police and or lawyers, actions which Square Enix considers customer harassment or to exceed socially acceptable behavior. So basically they're saying they're not going to do anything to you without consulting basically local law enforcement, like Japanese law enforcement, lawyers, stuff like that. And also this will probably extend to English players as well. So basically they're not going to just like all automatically ban you, even though they technically could if they wanted to. But they're basically just like preamble legalese of saying like we will take action if we find it necessary. So let's go into the things that Square Enix themselves consider harassment. I think that that's a fair thing, considering that some people seem to misunderstand or misread this. Act of violence or violent behavior. I think that's fairly self-explanatory. Abusive language, intimidation, coercion, duress, excessive pursuit of reprimand. These seem to be fairly standard. Defamation, slander, denial of personality, personal attack, including email, contact to contact forum, comments, or posts on the internet. Okay, so I think this is where a lot of people are concerned. Personal attacks. I think some people don't understand what personal attacks actually are. You know, like something that's intended with malicious intent towards an individual, like let's say a content creator or a person. So they're saying that they'll take actions against those types of individuals. Advance notice of wrongdoing, advance notice of obstruction of business, persistent inquiries, repeated visits, trespassing by visiting or staying in an office or related facility without permission, unlawful restraint, including via telephone call or online inquiries, discriminatory speech or conduct regarding race, ethnicity, religion, family origin, occupation, etc. Those are some of the substandard things. Infringement of privacy by taking pictures or making video recordings without consent. Actually, that's very common in Japan, so I'm not that surprised that that's in here. Sexual harassment, stalking, repeated stalking behavior. Seems like double, but fair enough. Undue demand, unreasonable changes or exchange of product or request for monetary compensation. Unreasonable response or request for an apology, including face-to-face response or a request for an apology specific to the position of our employee or partners. Excessive requests for the provision of products and service exceeding socially acceptable norms. Unreasonable and excessive demands for punishment of our employees. Real quick, chat, what do you think? Does that sound like something reasonable? Is Square Enix asking too much? It sounds like pretty typical guidelines. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Some people aren't apparently very literate or understanding that this is very standard practice for most companies. Honestly, there's some forms of harassment you'll get from just angry customers and others that are very extreme. This is covering the extreme ones. Yeah, that's what this is. That's what this policy is. This policy is covering more extreme behavior. Because I'm pretty sure Cal's aware of this, considering that Cal plays Final Fantasy XIV. And they are a very avid player. They might know about the stuff that recently happened with one of the voice actors. This policy may have been updated for situations like that, or situations with maybe other employees or other members of staff or partners of Square Enix. Especially the photography stuff regarding JP law. Yeah, that one's a given. Like I said, we have to remember that this is on the Japanese side, though it'll probably apply to English too. But some people don't seem to understand that this is common practice for a company. If there's a belligerent customer that causes a problem and threatens to either harm employees or, like, do dumb shit in the store, not only can we hold you for doing so, potentially, we can also call the local authorities and have you taken away. This is common practice for most businesses. You do not go into a business and harass the employees. Even minorly harassing employees is pretty bad. But if you're doing it like belligerently and with the intent to cause harm, yeah, the company's normally within their legal right to not only refuse you service, but ban you from the premises forever. Look at what some people fail to realize. Harassment, aka criticize them. And let's not talk about their partnership with Sweet Baby Inc. That would be even more than harassment. It would be something like a hate crime. No. Okay. Here's the thing. I know that Sweet Baby Inc. in particular is a hot button issue for a lot of people, okay? Some of the things that Sweet Baby Inc. has said, or at least some of its employees have said, are not good, okay? I'm just gonna say it. That's not good. Some of it is either comes off as bigoted or comes off as incredibly rude. However, that being said, Square is not responsible for Sweet Baby Inc. and its employees. They're responsible for their own employees. They, of course, do have the right to sever ties with Sweet Baby Inc. or any other partners that they feel do not warrant it. Which, by the way, if you think about it, this type of policy might actually help prevent behaviors like what's happened with some of the employees from Sweet Baby Inc. That there's a chance that this applies to them too. It involves employees. It's also talking about employees harassing other employees. Or partners harassing Square. So that could apply to them too, not just one-sided. So, I want to talk about the typical grift that I see that happens all the time, by the way. This is something I see all too often, and it's really frustrating because it prevents us from having genuine conversations. But here I am, once again, calling out the media grifters for what they are and the behaviors that they exhibit. And gee, you wonder why Square Enix has made this policy far more clearer to people. Okay, so I'm not saying, I want to preface this by saying that I'm not saying that these channels are completely at fault for this, okay? They can't control what others do, typically. But it's the type of environment that they culture. Considering that most of these individuals are culture war-based channels that only do this for a paycheck at the end of the day for clicks and views, which, I mean, when you look at the views like 7 hours ago from some of these videos, look at that, 21K views, 18K, 5K, actually this has doubled since then because I think I passed by it earlier, 3.4K, like, they're benefiting from this. These people couldn't give two shits about Square Enix. They do not care. They're doing this for one reason and one reason alone, because it makes them money. They profit from being basically assholes on the internet. Okay? So, these channels, will they see ramifications for their behavior? I don't know. I don't know. They might, because technically what they're doing is not really criticism. Echo chambers be a thing, yeah. That's the one thing I desperately try to avoid. And also, these people fail to read. It's either they're failing to read or they're choosing not to. I would say media illiteracy. It kills off nuance. Yes. Yeah. These types of discussions don't help the gaming industry. Because any genuine, like... No, this is clickbait, Cal. This is clearly clickbait shit. Okay? That's what I'm saying, basically. These types of channels... See, if I type in Square Enix right now... This could just be because of my own search history, but look. They're all here. They're at the top of the page. Look at that. You go, like, partway down, and then, like, current state of every Square Enix franchise. And this is from 1 year ago. Or something from 5 months ago. But yeah, no, this is clearly to get at the top of the algorithm on YouTube. Okay? That's what these channels do. They are intentionally clickbait schlock. These people can't do anything creative. Okay? I'm just going to make that abundantly clear. These people do not have a creative bone in their body. They don't. None of them do. Because all they do is read articles all day. They'll read an article. They'll say that they parrot the same talking points in their little echo chamber. And then they piss off with maybe a couple $100 or so every video. And they do these types of videos like every single day. A lot of those kinds of channels on YouTube. Yes, I know. This is the reason why people call them grifters. It's a very profitable thing. Okay, okay. I'm going to do something. I'm going to show you guys a part of my history. Playing their little culture war shtick game, and then I decided, like, you know what? I'm going to talk about me criticizing Square before. Like, I talked about this, which was mostly just a counter to some people's stupid arguments about some of the censorship or issues that were happening with Dragon Quest III. And then if we go even further back into my catalog, even before I was a VTuber, like we have this one right here. Square Enix fails to impress at E3. This was back in 2021, where I ranted about that. Which, by the way, I've done that multiple times to Square. Me complaining about Final Fantasy VII and its convoluted lore stuff. Final Fantasy VII Remake, about the fact that they lied that this is an actual remake, because it's not really a remake. It's more of its own thing. And if I go even further down... Oh, wait, yeah. And then, of course, there's videos of me calling out stupid shit that involves Final Fantasy VII. And people being belligerent and stupid. I even have a video talking about Final Fantasy 15 and why I didn't like it. So, you can... I think that you can still criticize Square Enix. It's even in the policy that they want feedback and comments and requests, and, you know, they're completely fine with people having, like, valid criticism of how they do business or what they say and do. Like, if Square Enix makes a crappy video game, you know, so, like, obviously, if they make a bad game and then everybody says, hey, Square, you made a crappy game, could you fix it? They're obligated to listen. As long as we're fair about it and we actually give them the proper respects that they're due, they'll probably listen. It's not like they're not going to fix the game, because at the end of the day, they'll lose money if they don't. So it's not like people won't be able to criticize Square Enix. What they're preventing is harassment. Actual, genuine harassment. And the fact that there's a bunch of people on YouTube that have failed to read. They failed to read. Gamer lawsuits. Yes, because they plan on suing people for being malicious. That's why it's a, quote-unquote, harassment policy. Exactly. Basically, this is the equivalent of don't be a dick. Square is saying, don't be an asshole. Okay, I think that's pretty clear what they're saying. It says within acceptable terms of society. So don't be an asshole. Don't threaten the employees with violence or death threats. Don't say stupid shit that's gonna get you in trouble. Common sense things that you think would be fairly common, but apparently these people don't want it to be common sense. But anyway, I guess that's kind of what I said my piece, I guess, on this particular topic. I think I've wasted enough of your guys' time talking about this topic from Square Enix. Thank you for humoring me, and we'll get into some other stuff. But for those of you who are watching this as a video, please feel free to leave me a like. You can shoot me a comment. Subscribe if you're new here. Follow us over on Twitch. We have a lot of fun over here. So if you want the more fun content, you can come over here. But with that being said, I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.